Hey, hello everyone. Richard here from Calvin Wazoo, and I've got another random pick Monday for you. So, as what I normally do is I take my phone and I go to my Discogs account where I've got my entire collection, which that's only part of it. Um, have that all entered in there, and you shake the phone, and then it picks a random pick. And this time it picked this one here. This is Washington County by Arlo Guthrie, which was his fourth studio album, but it's his fifth album altogether because there was a live album in there. It was released in 1970, October 1970. And it's a good album. I mean, I like Arlo Guthrie. If you are not familiar with Arlo Guthrie, I wouldn't necessarily start with this one. I think Hobo's Lullaby is a much better album to start with. Plus, it's a much better album anyway, both in terms of the songs on the album and the recording, etc., with it. But this one's, if you like Arlo Guthrie and you want to explore some more of his music beyond Hobo's Lullaby and Alice's Restaurant, or even perhaps you might be familiar with his second LP, Running Down the Road. This would be a good one to go with. So the songs, just do a quick rundown, on the songs. The first one is just called Introduction, and it begins very much with a very strong piano score to it. It almost is going to come off like it's going to be solely a piano piece, but gradually some guitars are brought into it, and they kind of crescendo in terms of the not so much the loudness, but kind of the feeling of the song. And then it has some lyrical portion to it, towards the end. And then we move into a song called Fencepost Blues, which is very much a country blues kind of song that really does kind of conjure this image of, sitting by the roadside on a fence, and, contemplating life and etc. That's kind of going on. Then there's the next song is called. I've got it written down because it's kind of a long name to it. Gabriel's Mother's Highway Ballad, number 16, Blues. Um, it's got a style where he's singing a line to the story, and then interspersed between the line is "Come on, children, come on." So it's kind of a spiritual blues ballad. Very um, I I'm going to use the word laconic because it's not a very, for me anyway, not a very inspirational song. And in terms of a spiritual, to me, it's kind of one of the weaker songs on there. But it's followed by the title cut, Washington County, which is a bluegrass instrumental. Very traditional bluegrass, very toe tapping. Um, Nice song, really, really nice song. Then we go into the song Valley to Pray, another spiritual. It's not really my favorite, mostly because it's of the 70s production. It kind of reminds me of a TV soundtrack from the 70s. It's just got that kind of, I don't know, tinny sound that I really don't like much. But that's followed by a little cowboy ditty called Lay Down Little Doggies. So this is, again, kind of a ballad in which the singer is talking about taking, his little doggies, his cattle, on a cattle drive to market, and, where they and the way, they've got to both sleep on the cold, cold ground kind of thing. And you almost get this sense that the singer, the cowboy, has a little bit of affection for his cows, but then, he's going to sell them off to the market where they're going to wind up in a tin can. So, whatever. Then we are followed with a song called "I Could Be Singing," which is it's kind of it's the melody is sing along musical, but it's also a little bit of like chastising going on, and then there's a reference to Kent State. So the Kent State shootings were in May of 1970, and this was released in October 1970. So I'm presuming, that the reference to Kent State, that this song was recorded following that, and just before the album's release. So there's a little bit in there about people. He's telling people, when are we going to get our act together, kind of thing. Uh, the next song, and sorry I write down notes like this because sometimes my brain just doesn't remember what I want to say. And anyway, so the next song is "If You Would Just Drop By." This song is very much anchored by piano, and it's a very strong blues number. And it kind of reminds me, excuse me, a little bit of on the style of Tom Waits or Leon Russell. So it's nice, good song. And then Arlo does a cover of Bob Dylan's "Percy's Song." And, you'll find that a lot on many of Arlo Guthrie's releases where he will do a cover of a Bob Dylan song. And this one is very much a traditional folk ballad, talking about someone who had a terrible accident and some people died, and, he was the driver. And so this man is appealing to the judge that, yeah, he deserves a sentence, but he doesn't deserve 99 years. It's an accident. But the judge just kind of dismisses him. So a very good cover of that Bob Dylan song. And then the album closes with "I Want to Be Around," which is kind of a little bit of a spiritual song, but very positive, folky kind of song, singing about love for mankind and everyone helping each other. So very positive and optimistic song, trying to get people to do that, and the willingness, altruism, etc., to be there to help each other out. So in general, I like this album. This is I got the pressing here with the dark orange and beige Reprise label. But yes, it's a good album. So if you are already somewhat familiar with Arlo Guthrie, I would recommend very much getting this one. However, if you are not that familiar with Arlo Guthrie and do not have any in your collection at this time, I would not recommend starting with this one. I think you should start with something like Hobo's Lullaby or Alice's Restaurant. So, leave a comment down below, please. I'd love to hear from you all. Share my video, please. Like it. Subscribe to the channel. And please remember, though, whenever you're listening to your music, always enjoy your music.